Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're really getting into it. We're tackling a super important and often, quite nuanced conversation. It's about the gender dynamics within the Black community, specifically how Black men are depicted in media. It's a topic that's been around for a while, and I'm really keen to explore the insights you've pulled together for us.
Absolutely. And our mission today really is to unearth key insights from the source material we looked at, stuff that directly tackles what some call Black patriarchy.
Right.
Or, maybe more simply put, the question of whether Black men need to listen more to Black women. We want to pull out the useful bits about power dynamics, historically and now representation, and maybe find a path forward, all drawn from the sources.
And it's a fantastic source, isn't it? Our main material for this deep dive is from this really fascinating conversation that was part of a YouTube class.
Yeah.
So you get this direct, candid discussion, lots of different viewpoints. It's lively, definitely thought-provoking, gives us a lot to chew on.
For sure. Let's unpack it.
So where do we start?
Well, diving right in, one of the really strong points from the discussion is this pattern. How Black male representation in media has been, severely limited for so long, kind of trapped.
Yeah, the way the conversation in our source breaks down those old portrayals is so clear, right?
Yeah.
It highlights how Black men on screen were often just one of two things.
Extremes.
Exactly. Either the, hard-bodied thug gangster type.
Right.
Or the completely opposite, the righteous, uplifted, perfect Black man.
Yeah.
There was just no room for like a normal, nuanced guy in the middle.
Not at all. And they mentioned the blaxploitation era, didn't they? Those 70s films. Groundbreaking in some ways, sure, but they often cemented these very limited roles.
Totally. And if you did see a character who was maybe supposed to be a radical Black man, he often came across as, a caricature.
Like the conspiracy theorist trope they mentioned, not someone offering real solutions or someone you could, relate to.
Precisely. Which leads to that next point about relatability.
Right. Yeah, that's fascinating, this deep desire people have that the speakers talked about, wanting to see men on screen who actually remind them of people they know.
Or parts of themselves, even.
Exactly. Like seeing a son character on screen who feels real, who maybe resembles your own kid, that kind of detailed, multifaceted representation. It's not just about entertainment, is it?
No, it's deeper. It's about connection, understanding within the community.
Which brings us to something really interesting the source argues.
Yes, this is a big one. The argument that Black women writers and showrunners have been kind of uniquely able to portray Black men in that complex, nuanced way.
It's a strong claim. They even say Issa Rae is maybe the best example.
Better than Spike Lee, even. That was a bold statement in the discussion.
It was. And they also highlighted Mara Brock-Akil, from Girlfriends Forever.
Yeah.
Another key figure doing this really vital work of showing Black men in all their dimensions.
It's incredible work.
Yeah.
But there's a historical thread here too, right? Not just contemporary examples.
Right. The discussion brought up Lieutenant Uhura, Nichelle Nichols in the original Star Trek. It wasn't necessarily about deep, complex character in the same way we expect now, but it was intentional, positive representation.
And the Dr. King connection.
Yeah, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. himself told her how important her being on that show was. He encouraged her to stay. So you see these early efforts for positive Black images, even though the goal was maybe different back then.
It's powerful stuff. But as the source material points out, all this great work by Black women leads to a pretty provocative question.
The big one.
Why does this crucial work, this nuanced portrayal, so often seem to fall on Black women? Especially when, Black men are often the ones technically in charge of spaces meant for Black voices.
It's a really challenging point they raise. Makes you stop and think.
Definitely.
And one idea floated in the discussion was, maybe Black men in Hollywood felt constrained by respectability politics, needing to present a certain image.
While women just rejected it.
Well, that's what someone initially suggested, but the speaker pushed back. They clarified, it wasn't that Black women just easily rejected those limits, it was more complex.
Oh, so?
The argument was that maybe their perceived radicalism, especially in spaces not owned by Black people, was only really allowed if it stayed within the comfort zone of the dominant structure.
Okay. So it felt radical, but maybe wasn't truly challenging the underlying system in the same way. That's a critical distinction.
Exactly. And it connects to another strong argument they made about roles within Black radical groups themselves.
The housekeeping role.
Precisely. That Black women are often doing the practical work, the organizing, the labor, like administrative assistance almost.
While the leadership position?
Tend to remain with Black men. even in spaces designed for Black voices.
Wow. And they use that health analogy, too, which really hit home for me.
Oh, yeah, the prostate cancer example. A Black woman might do all the research, organize the health fair, host the events.
Doing all the legwork.
But ultimately, who has to actually go get tested? Who needs to take that final step for their own health?
It has to be the men themselves.
Right. And the point made was that framing it as Black women taking the lead now, it kind of erases the centuries of Black women already being trailblazers, already doing this community work.
It devalues their history of leadership. That's a really powerful reframe.
It is, and it leads us right into the core of it, really. Unpacking patriarchy and gender dynamics within Black culture itself, the source really digs deep here.
Yeah, challenging some basic assumptions, not just surface-level stuff.
Absolutely. Take the Magdalena Walker example they discussed.
Okay.
So you might know her superficially as, like, a pioneering Black businesswoman did for self, which is true and amazing.
What more to it?
So much more, according to the source's analysis. Walker, born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, she didn't just see racial inequality, she also explicitly recognized gender variance.
Gender variance, specifically, not just lumping everyone together.
Exactly. She understood her specific position and power as a Black woman trailblazer. She wasn't projecting some kind of gender neutrality onto her work. And later, advocating for disability rights, too. It shows this really layered understanding of identity and struggle.
That's fascinating. And this ties into how the source defines Black patriarchy, right?
See?
Which was also quite eye-opening.
Yeah, this was crucial. It clarifies patriarchy isn't only a European thing, and it doesn't automatically mean, like, violence or overt oppression.
So what does it mean in this context?
It's about male dominance. Simple as that sometimes. Boys and men dominance. Who holds the power? Who makes the final decisions? Who expects compliance or support from women, even if it's framed nicely?
So it can exist even in spaces that seem cooperative or loving on the surface. It's about that underlying power dynamic.
Precisely. And the material really works to debunk some common myths that prop this up.
Like the Moynihan Report.
Exactly. That infamous 1965 government report. It painted Black families as matriarchal, a term even figures like Huey P. Newton repeated.
But what did matriarchal really mean there?
Well, the discussion explains it often just meant single-mother households. But crucially, even in those situations, patriarchy could still operate.
How?
For instance, the source suggests the government could step in, replacing the absent father figure, but still acting as a patriarchal authority through its services, tax-paid services, they emphasize, not handouts. It's a subtle but important point about where authority lies.
Okay, got it. And the other myth they tackled?
Biological determinism, the idea that male dominance is just natural, baked into biology.
XY chromosomes, alpha male stuff.
Yeah, all that. The source completely dismisses it. It emphasizes gender is overwhelmingly learned behavior, shaped by social learning, culture, passed down for centuries, not biology.
Our understanding of biology itself changes too, as they pointed out.
Yeah.
Hormones, genetics. It's not fixed.
Exactly. So if we accept all that, where do we go? What's the path forward? The conversation really pushes on responsibility here.
Yeah, whose job is it to fix this?
And the source is pretty clear. Addressing Black men's patriarchy is primarily Black men's responsibility.
Oof, that's direct.
It is. The claim is that Black men are often absent or silent when Black women face specific struggles, and that many Black men just see their own dominance as, well, normal.
And their issues as the main issues for the whole community.
Right, eclipsing everything else, which ties into that whole Black first debate you hear sometimes.
Ah, yeah. Black women being told, put gender aside, focus on race first.
Exactly. While discussions about Black liberation often just forget about women and children, or sideline them.
And the source explicitly reminds us, Black Lives Matter was founded by Black women.
A critical point about leadership and priorities, isn't it?
Absolutely. And they used another example, Gloria Richardson.
Right. That iconic photo, her pushing aside the National Guardsman's rifle.
Everyone's seen the image.
But how many people know her name? Or her actual contributions? The source points this out as another example of Black women's work being used, but their identities, their leadership, erased.
It makes you ask, why is that okay? Why do we let that happen?
Exactly. Now, this leads to a really strong counter-argument in the discussion about potential solutions.
Okay.
The idea that simply consuming more content made by sisters is enough to fix Black patriarchy. The source says, basically, no, not even close.
Just reading books or watching shows by Black women isn't the answer.
It can be a scapegoat, the speaker argues, a way to avoid dealing with the real power imbalances.
Like the analogy they used about white people buying books by Black authors during the pandemic.
Yeah, buying them is one thing, but did they read them? Did it actually change behavior or understanding? It can be performative.
So reading isn't enough. What is needed then?
The argument is Black men need to learn how to actually interact with Black women differently, in spaces where Black men aren't automatically the leaders.
Moving beyond just theory to practice.
Yeah.
Real, equitable interaction.
Yes. How do you actually live that understanding, not just read about it? That's the challenge posed.
And on that note, the source pushes back hard against the idea of baby steps for men in this process.
Oh yeah, big time. The point is, historically, Black men demanded immediate change for their own freedom. Think Frederick Douglass, do it now.
Right. No patience for gradualism when their rights were on the line.
So the argument follows. Why should Black women have to wait patiently now for men to slowly learn how to apply gender equity? It's seen as a distraction.
A distraction from the bigger collective goals.
Yeah.
Like health, education, economics.
Exactly, for the whole community. They even brought up the Black Panther Party, how some later aspects became more performative and strayed from the initial productive work. A warning about inaction, maybe?
So, tying this all together, what's the takeaway for particularly Black men listening?
Well, the source suggests the critical first step is self-reflection, really questioning those deep-seated assumptions about Black men's leadership.
Asking, do I have to be in charge here? Especially if I don't have the expertise, or if others like Black women are offering really valuable ways forward.
It's about genuinely reevaluating power and expertise. And, this really echoes those historical figures mentioned.
Ella Baker, Septima Clark.
Right, like Maggie Lena Walker, they understood that constantly having to explain gender dynamics, justify their leadership, it was a drain.
A distraction from the main goal, uplifting the entire Black community.
Yeah.
Just wasting time and energy.
Exactly. So that leaves us with a final thought, maybe a challenge for you, the listener.
Let's hear it.
If we accept that we today genuinely have more options, more agency than our ancestors did, then how does our collective idea of leadership and power need to change? How must it evolve to truly serve everyone, the entire community, and not just prop up one gender's dominance moving forward?
That's a powerful question to sit with. How do we move beyond old models to something truly collective? Lots to think about there.
Black folks, we age beautifully.
What's that? Black don't crack, brown sticks around, and beige don't age.
Well, Black folks do crack. That's why we talk about health issues. That's why we want our people to don't think you can get in the sunshine and cancer don't impact dark skin and all this other stuff. Drugs impact you.